I got one dude on my mind. Conor McGregor, you gotta come back and fight somebody. I am the most entertaining lightweight on the planet. But I want to up the stakes, Conor. I want you at your biggest, I want you at your baddest, and I want you at your best. You and me at 170 this summer, this fall, this winter. Holler at your boy. God bless. I'll see you at the top.
He hurt him back. He's letting go. Alvarez in all sorts of trouble trying to hold.
Chandler grew up in your usual blue-collar middle American household. His father was a union carpenter while his mother was a secretary, and together they instilled the value of a hard-working spirit early into the young Chandler.
We grew up very middle class. Mom and dad, my dad's a union carpenter, still is to this day. My mom was a secretary, kind of ran my grandfather's businesses. He had a scrap metal business there in High Ridge, Missouri, and then he had a restaurant. So my mom was working scrap metal business during the day, my grandpa's restaurant at night, my dad was working. I very quickly had that example of what hard work looked like, hard work and sacrifice, and we didn't have a lot, but we had everything that we needed.
The future Iron yielded to his training, and no single term went by that he wasn't on the honor roll in high school. Subsequently, scholarship offers were made to the young boy straight out of high school, but Chandler wasn't interested. Rather, he made a huge gamble that heavily rested on his hard work and commitment. Without an athletic scholarship, he decided to enroll at the University of Missouri and joined the wrestling team.
I want to carry this blue-collar work ethic all the way from High Ridge, Missouri, into Mizzou with the Division I wrestling, straight into the world ranks, the worldwide ranks of mixed martial arts. That a small guy from a small town who was taught to do small things cannot listen to those small voices and take a chance on yourself.
Competing at the highest level of college wrestling was no easy task, and though he was initially the least accomplished member of the team, he grew to be the leader with an impressive 130 record.
Being a Missouri Tiger has a lot to do with who I am today. I think I'm the man, the competitor, the fighter I am today because of my time there at Mizzou. My sweat and my blood will always be somewhere in that wrestling room.
Then he decided that it was time for another chapter of his life.
I wasn't ready to just jump into the workforce. I knew the wrestling dream wasn't really going to be very fruitful for me because it's in retrospect, or in a nutshell, it's much harder to make that Olympic wrestling team for the U.S. than it is to be successful in mixed martial arts. And I was ready for a change. I wanted to try my hand at unarmed combat in a cage, and haven't looked back since.
Chandler took another leap of faith right after his youthful wrestling days were over and joined MMA. However, rather than start from the amateur competition stage, he made his professional debut right away in August of 2009 against Kyle Swadley, and boy was he phenomenal. He cornered him the first chance he got and pounded away with absolutely no mercy. And in the first round of his first MMA match ever, Chandler took home the victory with a technical knockout. His next two fights were a success, and Bellator was the next step in his career.
I am not who I am without the organization of Bellator and the heartbeats and the people that I love so much that I've been able to share this experience with for the last 10 years. So we'll see what happens. Every single lightweight on the entire planet, you're on the clock, you're on notice.
Chandler then joined Bellator in 2010 and made his debut in September. Scott Stapp challenged his formidable fists and met a similar end with a technical knockout. Chandler didn't give his opponent breathing space by overwhelming him with a barrage of deadly bombs. In his last fight of 2010, Chandler didn't disappoint, and Chris Page was the unlucky fighter in the ring with him. With a standing guillotine choke, Chandler set another under-a-minute win.
No trip and fall, but a guillotine victory for Chandler.
The outcome of the opening bout of the Season 4 lightweight tournament wasn't any different. Bellator 36 saw Chandler take on Marcin Held. The Polish fighter's jiu-jitsu skills almost pushed Chandler to submission, but the American put up a strong fight and won with an arm triangle choke-induced submission, and Lloyd Woodard went down next. Bellator 44 against Patricky Pitbull was just as challenging, but Chandler showed his resilience and superior skills. With hellish fists and overpowered kicks, Chandler fought hard, and in the third round, he drew blood as vengeance for having his face busted in the previous round. He didn't get the submission or knockout he struggled for, but the unanimous decision win was rightfully his, and that win sealed his fate as the Season 4 lightweight tournament champion. Iron then went on to challenge the Underground King for his title as the lightweight world champion. Despite having a slight underdog, Chandler put up a good fight against Eddie Alvarez, and in the fourth round, he claimed the title by submitting the champion with a rear naked choke.
That's it! Naked choke. There's the tap, and we have a new champion. Michael Chandler is Bellator's new lightweight world champion.
Bellator 67, no doubt, was more shocking as the new champion saw no need to extend the match more than necessary. Chandler knocked Akira Gono over and bombarded him with bombs that incapacitated the Japanese fighter within the first minute of the first round. Chandler then went on to face Rick Hawn in a title-determining bout, but Chandler wasn't about to lose his title. In the second round, he lifted Hawn and smashed him on the floor before locking him tight with a rear naked choke. Later on that year, Iron faced David Rickles in another title-determining bout, and the champ showcased the doom molded with his iron fists by setting a new personal record. Within a mere 44 seconds, the champion unleashed a series of powerful right-left combinations that sealed the match in the very first round.
Michael Chandler is Bellator's new lightweight world champion.
Most of the time, not only do I win, but I finish guys. I'm going to redeem myself. I'm going to fix some mistakes. It won't happen again.
Definitely training like this is the biggest fight of my life, because it is. As soon as you feel like you're not the underdog, you open the door to getting a little too confident, a little too prideful. And for me, I'm in this sport to be the best.
After 12 consecutive wins, Chandler was defeated by the Underground King, who came back to fetch his title. The fight wasn't a fast one, though, as it was entertaining and thrilling to the last minute. But alas, Alvarez won via split decision.
Alvarez!
I had a feeling in my gut I was going to be the new lightweight champion.
Since he lost for the first time in his professional career, his morale seemed to have taken a hit because his next two fights with Will Brooks had similar ends, and in his last fight with Brooks, Chandler was knocked out for the first time ever. "2015 was a better year, with both his fights ending in wins with one submission and a technical knockout. In 2016, Iron faced Pitbull next for the second time in a title-determining bout, and Chandler wasn't generous with the time and threw grenades and bombs at every open opportunity.
I do everything necessary to become the best in the world, and I do surround myself with the right people, and I do the right things, and I do work hard, and I do, try to become the best man I possibly can be. And when you're doing that kind of stuff, it kind of takes all the pressure off of yourself, because you know that you've done everything that you possibly could to be successful that night.
Chandler defended his title against Benson Henderson, but unfortunately, Iron lost the next fight to Brent Primus as well as his title. Afterwards, he went on a 3-fight win streak, and in the process got his title back from Primus, but unfortunately, he lost the title in his next fight the following year to Patricky Pitbull. The loss of his title fueled his fighting, and in his next fight, he was motivated to take down Sidney Outlaw.
That's a big shot right there. Hit us all over! Just like that! Chandler!
Just excited to keep fighting against myself. If I can step in here every single time and become the best Michael Chandler I possibly can be, then I've done my job. There's obviously some big fights here. I'm still hungry for belts. I'm still hungry for world titles. 3 world titles isn't enough. My wife deserves it. My son deserves it. So I'm excited about the future.
Henderson was next, and Iron didn't waste time on him this time around, as he finished in the first round with a knockout-inducing punch. This was a fitting end to Michael Chandler's stint with Bellator, and he proceeded to join the UFC.
Voice comes out, 100 miles an hour. That was a nice shot. Oh, he's down. It is all over! Just like that! Michael Chandler finishes Benson Henderson! The first man to finish Benson Henderson!
I'm just happy to be here. Happy to be standing here in front of you, and I visualize this. Bree and Hap, Daddy, I can't wait to be home. And the people that I love so much that I'll be able to share this experience with for the last 10 years. So we'll see what happens. Every single lightweight on the entire planet, you're on the clock, you're on notice.
Chandler! McGregor! Surprise, surprise! There's a new king in the lightweight division! Dustin Poirier, your time is coming, and Khabib! If you ever do see fit to grace us with your presence back here in the UFC octagon, in your quest for 30, you know you gotta beat somebody, so beat me if you can! God bless! See you at the top!
At the start of Chandler's UFC career, he faced Dan Hooker, and Iron didn't disappoint as he won via TKO. Iron backed his opponent to the edge of the ring with a punch, and once Hooker lost his footing, he was bombarded with punches to his head, and they didn't stop till the referee interfered.
Big right hand, Dan's hurt! It's over! Michael Chandler! Maximizing the debut! Nick the landing! Michael Chandler! Bonafide UFC lightweight contender! That's why you paid the big bucks for Michael Chandler!
Every road led me here, and honestly, as soon as I made the decision, as soon as that door just crept open a little bit, I said I was going to come in, I was going to kick the door down and showcase my skills and prove that what I have been saying over the last decade, that I believe I'm the best lightweight on the planet, and on Saturday night I get to prove that.
Next, in the main event of UFC 262, Chandler stepped into the octagon to compete against the seasoned veteran Charles Oliveira for the vacant UFC Lightweight Championship. This opportunity arose after the retirement of the former champion, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Although Chandler came close to securing victory by almost finishing Oliveira in the first round, he ultimately suffered a defeat in the early moments of the second round, succumbing to a technical knockout.
Now a knee to the body for Charles and a right hand. Chandler's in trouble. Now Chandler is down. He's down. Charles is the undisputed UFC lightweight champion. Congratulations. Jesus. My goodness. He's in it. Wow. Charles Oliveira has done it. How in the world does it change that? Undisputed UFC.
Justin Gaethje and I are the epitome of two guys who go out there, throw with reckless abandon, throw caution to the wind. So when you got two guys like that, they love to fight, they love the violence, they love the chaos. It's guaranteed fireworks. There's no way that this fight isn't exciting. I am prepared to make a highlight or be made a highlight.
Let's go!
Iron squared off against former UFC interim lightweight champion Justin Gaethje in a highly anticipated matchup at UFC 268. The fight delivered an intense and thrilling back-and-forth battle between the two fighters. Despite his valiant efforts, Chandler ultimately came up short as the judges awarded Gaethje a unanimous decision victory. However, the fight between Chandler and Gaethje was not without its accolades. It was honored with the Fight of the Night award, recognizing the exceptional display of skill, heart, and competitiveness from both athletes.
Oh my God! Justin Gaethje and Michael Chandler now connected forever. The highlight! Official weight, 155.5 for El
Chandler wasn't so satisfied with his performance in 2021, and in his first fight of 2022 against Tony Ferguson, he awarded El Cucuy with his very first true knockout with a front kick in the first 20 seconds of the second round. This win earned him his second Performance of the Night award.
Michael Chandler!
Dustin and I have said some things. We've made our peace, or said our piece, if you will. We had the the DC show where it was, kind of us talking about it, airing it out, and DC instigating it. So it was, it was fun. I mean, the fact of the matter is we're both guys trying to climb the same mountain, and one of us is trying to get there quicker than the other guy. That's just the nature of this business. I respect Dustin for what he does inside the cage, outside the cage, who he is as a man.
Facing Dustin Poirier next, the fight promised an intense showdown between two highly skilled fighters. However, despite his best efforts, Chandler ultimately fell short. In the third round, Poirier secured a victory by executing a rear naked choke submission, forcing Chandler to tap out.
He's got it tight. He got it.
Dustin Poirier submits Michael Chandler in round 3. That has got to feel good.
Huge. What a fight.
And the Diamond Horn!
With Chandler set to face Conor McGregor, we are eager to see how that match will end. Would you like to see more lethal fists in action? Hit the subscribe button and give this video a smashing like.